Biggie Smalls once had a line, mo money, mo problems. In professional sports, it's more offense, more ego, more apathy, and more cap issues. Offense is great. Everybody's drafting it. Everybody wants it. NFL drafts are better when there's star receivers and star quarterbacks, right? Like, offense is what everybody's trying to find. And analytics has hurt defense in basketball, has made it more challenging. Rules and stuff has made it more challenging for defenses in the NFL. So everybody's looking for offense. Everybody's looking for Mahomes. Everybody's looking for Steph Curry and Luka. But you're going to have cap issues because you got to pay them. You're going to have more egos because those are the guys that get the sneaker deals and the headlines, right? And the movies and the commercials. And you're going to have also more apathy. Ask any Warrior fan their biggest knock on this team. And it's they get really sloppy and really apathetic and lazy and cocky when they take leads in series. You can go back to the KD Warriors. Remember that the first year? They started 15-0 in the playoffs. Hyper-focused. And then year 2 with KD, they were still a mile better than everybody else. But they won 9 fewer games in the regular season, and they started like losing playoff games, and series started going longer. Year 3 with KD and Steph, still a mile better than everybody. They went 6 games in the first round of the playoffs and 6 games in the second round of the playoffs, and they weren't the same team. They were good, but not the same team. Same players, but more money, more egos, more cap issues, and more apathy, and that's what you saw last night. Of the 8 games played in both conference finals, 7 times in 8 games, the winner has been the team that has been more efficient on three-pointers. And the Mavericks were more efficient because they got more open looks. And why did they get more open looks? Because there were breakdowns on the Warriors, and they do what the Warriors do. When they get a series lead, when they're comfortable, when they know they're better, they get less intense. Now, you see this with the Kansas City Chiefs in the NFL all the time. The defense knows Mahomes is going to bail them out. And so Kansas City's defense sometimes, when you watch that Buffalo-Kansas City game, now those are great quarterbacks and great offenses, but Buffalo had a good pass rush. Buffalo has a great defensive coach. But when you keep getting bailed out time after time after time with Josh Allen, it is hard to convince the guys on the defensive sideline, hey, you got to make a stop. This is the season because they see Mahomes, they see Josh Allen. And now some of this is also the NBA's fault and the owner's fault. You never see this kind of apathy in March Madness because it's one and you're done. College basketball gets great ratings in the March Madness tournament because there's urgency. Everybody plays with the same intensity and passion. Do we really need 7 games to figure out who's the better team? No, we don't. We don't. Daryl Morey, Sixer GM, I was talking to him a few months ago. He said, I do the college route. He goes, if you look at March Madness ratings and you look at NFL ratings, the one and done thing is why you get the ratings. He said often baseball and basketball with 7-game series, there's no urgency. So owners could solve this. We always blame the players. They're human beings. If you don't have to be somewhere until a certain time, you generally don't leave until you have to be there. If you kind of know a teacher's a pushover in college, we just don't work as hard. We take advantage of situations and time. It's that intensity that the Warriors lack. The Mavericks took advantage of it. They got better open looks, and they're pro players. Dallas is a good basketball team. They shoot a lot of threes. They hit a lot. But in the first several games, those were contested. The offense was discombobulated. The Warriors' defensive intensity, you didn't see any of it last night, and Steph talked about it afterwards. So I'm not sure this is the second most interesting story today, and we've got some really good ones today. But the Westbrook-Laker situation was written about in The Athletic today. And the Lakers have a lot of options on this, and I'm not sure. More options would be better if I thought the Lakers were brilliantly run. I think anytime a really well-run business has options, I feel good about it. Sometimes when I don't trust a business, options just confuses them and they make the wrong choices. So I don't know if the Lakers are going to make the right choice here. I'd feel much better if the Warriors had a Westbrook dilemma and several options. The Lakers do have several options. Reportedly here, according to The Athletic, though, they're not going to give up number 1 picks. And so they may have to just stomach Westbrook. So here's my basic Westbrook take. It's not going to work. Stop trying to convince yourself. He lacks self-awareness. He's incredibly stubborn and rigid. It's not going to work. He can't play off ball. So just shelf that one. If you think it's going to work, you don't get basketball, talk less, listen more about basketball, because it's not going to work. It can be better than it was this year. It's not going to work. It didn't work in Houston. It didn't work in D.C. much. It doesn't work here. It didn't work at Oklahoma City with Durant. It really didn't at the end. So it's not going to work. Let's get past that. So the Lakers are not going to lose their season ticket base if they're bad again. They've been bad many times in the last 9 years, like really, really bad. And every time I go to a Laker game, it's sold out. So they're not going to lose their fan base. They have a lot of equity. It's a huge brand. People love NBA in this town, and the Lakers are always going to be okay. This is not the Rams where they're building a fan base. It's not the Chargers in LA where they're building a fan base. Or it's not even the Clippers that were so bad for so long and so poorly owned that they still don't have a ton of equity in the market. The Lakers are the Dodgers. Like they're well run. They know what they're usually doing. Even when they have lulls, the fans don't go anywhere. So you don't have to worry about that. And that is something. That is something. It's sold out. The revenue's good. We also know the Lakers are not a championship team. Stop listening to that. They're old. It's a bad roster with several iffy contracts, including Westbrook's. So my takeaway is not every problem in life is solvable quickly. This is not a problem that may be solvable quickly. What I would do is buy Westbrook out, not play him, and stink for another year. Because you're not a championship team. And nobody's going anywhere. And the other thing is, you really have more power and leverage with LeBron than you think. Because I hear a lot about this. Well, how will it land with LeBron? I don't know. He'll be in his 20th year. He's playing 55 games. Remember this about LeBron. He loves LA. This city has been unbelievable for his brand. He's doubled his net worth. Okay? He wouldn't be able to sell his house in Akron now. He couldn't sell that thing. There's no buyers. It's like $40 million. $40 million in Beverly Hills where LeBron leaves? It's a discount. He loves LA. He loves the branding, the money, the movies, the attention. He's not going anywhere. Other things, in his 20th year. Other thing, he's only playing 55 games. And we know how the Lakers could get great. And the answer isn't LeBron. It's not. He's playing 55 games. Anthony Davis is not the answer to be great. The answer to be great is get rid of all these contracts, clear the books, because Los Angeles just stole Oklahoma's football team and Bobby Wagner and Matt Stafford and AD a couple years ago. And LeBron chose Los Angeles. He didn't choose it because it was the best organization. Lakers haven't been brilliantly run for 7 or 8 years before he got here. He didn't choose it because they had the best roster, best championship of winning. He chose it because of the city and because of the business and because of the branding opportunities. That's why Matt Stafford chose here, and Paul George and Kawhi Leonard and AD and Lincoln Riley and Bobby Wagner. Despite what conservative news outlets will tell you, people like living here. Stars like living here more than any city in America. It's New York with better entertainment, better beach, and better weather. Both have lousy taxes. So this idea, you're paralyzed by this. What will LeBron think? Who cares? Got 1 year left, 20th year, playing 55 games. The answer to the championship could be LeBron, but it's not definitively LeBron. The answer definitively would be the Westbrook contract's done. LeBron, after a year, decides, I'm done with it. And then you just say, anybody want to move to Los Angeles? Because that keeps working for everybody here. Freddie Freeman played with a great organization in Atlanta. They win a World Series. He's like, no, I'll pay more taxes. I want to go to the Dodgers. That's the answer to win here. That's it. The answer isn't make LeBron happy, just get rid of Westbrook, and then, it still doesn't solve LeBron's 20th year in the league, LeBron playing 55 games a year, Anthony Davis can't stay healthy. It doesn't solve any of that stuff. I mean, Milwaukee won a title. They have Giannis in his prime. Chris Middleton got hurt. Can't make the Eastern Conference Finals. So the answer is clear the books if you want to be a championship team. And these are the Yankees. This is Alabama football. This is Duke basketball. The standard is titles, not making the playoffs. So if you're looking for the solution and the answer here, clearing the books is how you win it, and be wide open and have the stars line up. Who wants to play in Los Angeles? Folks, Kawhi and Paul George chose the Clippers. The Clippers. They had no history. But I keep reading this. Oh, boy, what will LeBron think? I don't know. He'll think, you know what? It's 74 degrees in Los Angeles, and it's, in the middle of the NBA season. It's February. That's probably what he'll think. It's like, whew, I have a view of downtown Los Angeles. It's 74 degrees. That's what he'll think in February. Or he'll look at his net worth, on whatever account he has and goes, oh, I'm worth $1.1 billion. I was worth $450 million when I got here. Or he'll look at his 75,000 square foot house and his beautiful family and go, I got 3 basketball courts on the property. That's what he'll think. LeBron's in the mogul stage. He's not defined now by winning another championship. He's one of the 3 best basketball players, non-center ever. Michael Magic LeBron. Some think he's the best player ever. Good argument. I'm not going to make it. You can make it. I'm not offended by it. Certainly plausible. But what LeBron will think is, man, this is a pretty good place to play professional sports. Because that's what Matt Stafford thinks. That's what Kawhi thinks and Paul George thinks and AD thinks. And I know all these conservative media outlets are telling you nobody wants to live here. Well, maybe people, that do normal jobs don't or something. But the people that make a lot of money, they just keep moving here. And these athletes love it here. And they get marketing deals here and shoe deals here and movies here and podcasts here and production companies here. And when you ask, well, what do they think about it? They think, it's 74 degrees in winter. So like the Lakers, despite all their nonsense, have leverage. It's the city they play in. It's leverage. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.